about you, it's all about me, it's all about what we do. Making art, you and me, trying to find something to believe. Because I'm running wild, I ain't running free. Still got a lot of shit left to see.
Okay guys, here we are again to talk about another TV show out. So we're talking about Shadow and Bone. So Shadow and Bone is another book trilogy, or how many ever G's they have in the series. So it's a book series adaptation turned into a TV show by Netflix. And I want to just start out from jumping saying that it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I find with Netflix, right, I feel like either every month or even a couple of months, Netflix has that one project that when everyone watches it, it kind of goes viral, whether for being super good or super bad. You know, you have your Bridgertons, you have your Emily in Paris, you have your Ginny in Georgia, you have your Irregulars, you have your all these things, right? You just have those shows that just kind of like top Netflix like top 10 for a week or so, and then it just dwindles away until the next thing comes in like another month, right? But in between that, you have that period where you're just everything on Netflix is dry until the next big thing on Netflix just pops up. And I would have to say that Shadow and Bone is one of those things, right? It's definitely, I think, one of those things people are talking about. I'm not sure if it is as big as stuff like Bridgerton when it first came out, or even Emily in Paris when it first came out, but that's probably because of all the people who just didn't like Emily in Paris. So we're talking crap, who watches and talk crap about it. It's kind of like Wings, who kind of watches and talk crap about it, so that's why it was like so big for so long kind of things. I don't know if it was as big as stuff like what's their next biggest thing, like the Kiss and Booth when it first came out. I don't know if it did those kind of numbers, because I haven't really seen, I don't know if I've seen anything about Shadow and Bone as much as I've seen with everything else, right? Like, it's been a few days and I still don't see that many like reviews or reactions to it or anything like that. So I'm not too sure how well it's done when it comes to views. I haven't even seen any like statements about it yet, because I feel like that's another thing, how you know it's been one of those big things. You immediately see, oh, this show tops Netflix viewership by something, how much million screen viewerships or views or user logins or whatever for the premiere of the show, you know what I mean? But I would have to say that despite all of that, you know, that's just like, that doesn't always determine a good show. And Shadow and Bone, I would have to say, is a good show. Like, the acting is pretty solid. I heard some people say like the cinematography was kind of boring. It wasn't like outstanding, but the quality of the video ship was really good. The direction was not bad. So I feel like it should at least be given a 5 out of 10, you know what I mean? But some people like, I heard one commenter say that they were bored by it. There was nothing like new or different. And for me, I don't particularly need anything new or different for me to say the cinematography is good. I just need it to not be horrible. I felt like the costuming was really intriguing, like especially with all of the different military costumes for Second Army, First Army, Grisha. I thought that was kind of interesting and cool. I like that it wasn't just like old English clothing, you know. There was some differences and changes there. I like that. I do like the plot line and the magic and like the folds and like the Grisha and the Darklings. There's a lot to like and there's a lot to love. There's some really great characters as well. We have Inej. I feel like that's everyone's like top favorite. Inej is cool. Some people do like Zoya, despite her being a BITCH for like what, for 9 out of 10 episodes. How many episodes does this have? Like 8? Like 7 out of 8 episodes. For 90% of the way, she was a BITCH, but there are some people who like particularly liked her by the end of it. I think everyone pretty much liked our main hero. I'm pretty sure there are people who found like the Darkling to be zaddy material, even though he is the villain. I saw some stuff about people talk about how he hits different. I'm just like, bruh. I saw this one TikTok that was like, oh, all the things that my character crushes have in common. It's like mass murderer, mass murderer, mass murderer. So people are liking his look, I guess, is what something that can be taken from that. I don't know what else to say. He's definitely not bad looking, but honestly, when I first saw that it was gonna go in that direction with him and Adelina, I was like, no, leave that old man alone. No, because I'm not particularly sure how old she's supposed to be in this. I don't remember, but I'm assuming she's the age of like every single other main character in a YA fantasy dystopian world kind of bullcrap setting. She's either 16 or 18, right? That's just like the arbitrary age they always pick, like that becoming a woman or man stage in their life. So it's either 16 or 18. 16, I guess, because you're hormonally more accepted to be a woman or whatever, or physically. And then 18 is more like the official acceptance by society of you becoming a man or a woman, right? So it's either one of those two ages, never really 17, 15, it's one of those two ages when it comes to YA, dystopian, future past, whatever, you know what I mean? So when I saw that it was leading to that direction, I was like, nah, I wasn't feeling it. Like he's fine, but I was like, nah, we ain't doing this. Like we ain't doing this. If you are supposed to be either 16 or 18, this man looked 35 or 20 or 29 to 30, maybe not 35, 29 to 33. Leave this man alone. I already had bad feelings about him from the get-go. I was like, you ain't fooling me. You're trying to, like, with all this black on and crap, you're trying to be like, I felt like they tried to trick us by making him look like the obvious villain, but giving him a heart of gold. I was like, nah, you ain't fooling me. You no fool me, okay? I knew you ain't good for my girl Alina. You need to leave her alone. Leave alone. Go there. Go there. Like, I wasn't feeling it at all. Like, every time I saw them getting closer, starting to kiss, I was just like, no, stop it, please stop it. Right? Other things I really liked about just like the show in general, I love the idea of the different powers, but it kind of did remind me of like Avatar for some reason. Like some of the movements with the hands and stuff, I kind of, especially with like the stuff like the firebenders and the airbenders, I really felt like it was Avatar-ish, but I'm glad it gave itself some differences with something more with like the more creative powers, like a heart renderer. But although that kind of reminded me of bloodbending, not gonna lie, it still kind of felt like Avatar with that. But I thought it was like a unique concept of a power to kind of differentiate it from other shows with that kind of power setting that's more elemental. I like the shadow power a lot. I really like that in the added factor of the immortality, basically, or the age resistance, because I can assume that they actually can die. We just haven't seen anyone successfully kill the Darkling. But yeah, they're not true. Him and his mom, I assume, is not truly immortal. He should have some way of killing him, but he's basically age resistant. He's like youthful forever until he dies. I mean, I guess is that still immortal? Because you call vampires immortal and then they can die. To me, when I think about immortality, maybe because I watch so much anime, I literally will see characters, you stab them, you chop their head off, you cut their limbs apart, you toss them, they will not die. They cannot die, right? But anyway, I guess how we see like the concept of immortality is a bit subjective because it's not like it exists. The one thing I didn't like about the Grisha is that like the Grisha were getting murked heavily, easily as hell. Like, what kind of army are you? Like, how do you have these powers? Heart rendering, fire bending. What? Did we see water? We didn't see water. Air bending. What else did we see? All these things, right? All these things, but they're just getting tossed out by like freaking bows and knives. Like, and I'm not just saying a little bit. I don't say they shouldn't be able to die, but I feel like they should at least be able to take down a couple of normal ass people before they just get murked like that, or even one of those creatures when they're on the boat. But they were just, the amount of times the Grisha kept just like pew, 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 dying, just like body after body after body after body, and especially from normal people with just weapons, with just the bare necessities. It's like, what are you? how are you even that much more valuable than regular people if you barely doing your job? And it's just like, it's not like it's from advanced technology, which is a concept I can understand. The Grisha are becoming more and more, or I should say less and less useful because of the goings of technology. I know I reference Attack on Titan a lot, but that is a masterpiece on writing. If you really want to like read a kind of like dystopian or war-based plot line, you have the manga, you can go read that, or you can go watch like Attack on Titan, the anime. If you really want to consume a piece of entertaining, well-written piece about like the issues of war and xenophobia and all this and ignorance and the cycle of hate, watch that shit, because that shit did it wonderfully, especially with even out of the elements of people with powers. Because like in the Attack on Titan, the people who are able to use titans or titan powers, basically a power set for where they can transform themselves into these like titan-like beasts who all have different attributes and abilities set up to like the 7 or 8, however it is, many main titans. Like, the reason why those people are even kept around by the country who hates and fears the past wars and the past transitions made from like their ancestor is because they are used to attack other countries while they are at war with other people, right? They're only kept to be useful, but their use is running out because of the technology that's starting to build out from those other countries. We talking about tanks, we talking about bombs and stuff, right? So I don't understand why you were murking Grisha with freaking arrows and knives and shit. Like, it kind of makes me look at the power setting and dynamic of it like this, like it makes me care a little less about the Grisha and their powers when I see them just get murked like that. I also think there wasn't that many dynamic like fighting choreography going on with the Grisha. Like, if you want to compare it to something else with similar power sets, Avatar, beautiful choreography. I understand we don't have like a live action a successful live action example, but like, come on now. Like, that had beautiful fight scenes and choreography, or fight choreography to show off those kind of powers, and I don't really think this show had that. The fight scenes with the powers were really boring unless you're talking about the Darkling, because he's the only really super set amongst the Grisha. Everybody else get knocked out like, and it doesn't create excitement to even see the other Grisha in action then. It doesn't even create excitement when I see the heroes take the Grisha down, because it's like, yeah, you can take them down because they're weak as hell. So I didn't particularly like that much. I felt like we should have seen the Grisha do more exciting and powerful things to set up to see like, yeah, this enemy like is actually a viable threat, but they never felt like a threat to me, honestly. So it takes a bit away from the victory when you never were up against anything. It's like, do you really want to see me win a fight against a baby? No, that's not exciting. Nobody want to see that. But yeah, that's one of my complaints. Maybe another one of my complaints is like, I feel like the character of, not even the character of Alina, but like the romance between Alina and Mal was kind of boring to me. Alina was not the most exciting main hero or a character in my mind. She wasn't even like the brightest character for me. It's like, as soon as she got into the palace and she was all trusting and shit, I was like, girl, what is you doing? I was like, what is you doing? But I can understand her character being trusting like that, because I guess she's finally in an environment where she feels like she could be taken care of, because her importance is being like really emphasized by these people around her, that she's needed and she could solve this big problem and and like we've seen before, because of the racism she's experienced, she's never really felt appreciated other than from someone like Mal, who is her best friend and potential love interest, depending on where that actually goes, if it goes anywhere or not. But yeah, so I can understand why when she's finally in a place where she feels like there's a chance for her to be accepted, she's going to lean into it. However, I just felt like, girl, you dumb. You do no, you're leaning in too fast. At least give it like too fast. Just like calm it down. Like, she wasn't suspicious of nothing. Like, especially if of Mal not replying to her letters. How did you, that is your best friend. You spent your whole entire life with this man. Like, when you didn't get a response, you didn't think it was for a reason? Really? Like, how did you not see that there was something going on? Like, I don't like that Alina didn't realize anything on her own, really. She didn't pick up on anything. She didn't really solve any of her own problems, except for maybe towards the end when she finally gains like a better control of her powers to like mess with the Darkling. But no, she never really gets to anything on her own. So I hope in the second season I could see more of like an independence from Alina. And I also understand that a main character doesn't have to be strong by doing everything on their own. Like, there's nothing wrong with relying on people, but I just want to see a bit more of her own worth. I just do. That's what I want to see from the show. I hope I get to see that from the second season. Now that Alina is kind of off with just Mal, I want to see, and now that she has like a bearing on her powers, I want to see how that progresses into like maybe strengthening her a little bit. Now, another thing I want to address is that I know some people had mixed feelings about the racism against Alina shown. I don't think there is an issue portraying racism in the show, because that's a real issue. We watch shows that do classism. We watch shows that go through murder and all that other stuff. So I feel like people should really get more comfortable with racism being brought up. Although I also do understand, because the Asian community is going through a really tough time right now in regards to like the Asian hate movement and the crimes against Asian people because of the coronavirus and all of this BS, that sometimes when you are just exhibited to this much hate against your race and all these hate crimes and all this stuff, you kind of want to escape and you don't want to be reminded about what's going on. But I would also like to say this is an important conversation to show racism against Asian people, because Asian people haven't gotten that much media in American or English television to explore how it feels to be them. So it is important for them to get their depictions of racism brought into the forefront. Like, for Black people, we've had plenty, and that's why when we say we're tired of it, we want other stuff, not just the struggle, is because it's starting to become a stereotype that's just used to be our only storyline. But a lot of Asian people haven't had that storyline for themselves explored, so that's why a lot of them are saying, no, we need this, we can't be tired of it yet. You know what I mean? But I can understand both sides, because as a Black person, when you see all of these things for BLM, about all of the arrests and all of the murders and all the killings, like, when I watch a Black character on TV, sometimes I don't want it to be about race. So I do understand both sides. It's because it's very exhausting to be other somewhere and to be constantly reminded about the shit you already know that you have to face. Like, I know every day what my struggle is. I don't need to be reminded sometimes. So I do understand both sides. But I would just like to say that in general, this is a good show. I thought it was really worth watching. My boyfriend didn't complain the whole entire time we were watching the show like other shows. Like, I can't even get him to watch certain shows like Emily Paris. He's like, nah, bitch. I'm not watching one episode of that show. I'm excited for season 2. I hope the plot keeps developing. I don't know why they didn't think that the Darkling would maybe possibly be able to survive from his own creatures. Like, that's the first thing that came into my mind. When they just left him in the fold, I was like, no, don't leave him there. What if he can why would he be dead? That was my thought, right? I was like, why would he be dead? Didn't he make them? Why can't he control them? That was my first thought. My second thought was like, I can't believe they killed him off so soon. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then when he walked through the floor, I was like, that's what I said. See, nobody's thinking. Nobody think like me. But definitely excited to watch season 2. I look forward to seeing the cast again. I pretty much like most of the cast. Of course, I have my favorite. I really like Inej. I think I really like Inej most of all, so I hope nothing really happens to her. Of course, Alina is our main character, so I also hope nothing happens to her because I want to see her powers develop. I like Mal because I like Alina, and I don't particularly want to see her struggle with having her one love dead, since her other crush semi-love was a dick and a mass murderer. I did really love Jasper too. Jasper is really humorous character, so I like him as well. That's not it. Inej is like top girl, Jasper's top boy. You gotta keep your mains. Everybody else, they can catch a sword or two. I don't particularly care. That's how I feel. But if you like this review, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see anything else from me, let me know. I love suggestions. And yeah, stay tuned for next time.
Here we go, it's all about you, it's all about me, it's all about what we do. Making art, you and me, trying to find something